We live in a time when being born a different color can automatically put you into a category. Does this make sense? Does being black or white really make you different? Let's explore why we have different skin colors, and what is this melanin thing anyways? We as humans are born many different shades. Why is that? In order to understand, we must take a journey to explore our past. What is skin, and why is it important? From the very first cell, we were protected by a thin shield, a protection that kept our DNA safe from the harsh environment of the ocean. Was this skin as we know it? Not quite. We push forward on the evolutionary scale to become fish, newly protected with a complex barrier: scales. Then, as our ancestors moved above ground, they brought the ocean to the land inside their bodies. The sun dried out our supple protective coat, transforming it into a new type of scale, one made of keratin and enclosed with lipids. A new protective shield is now sunproof, allowing us to keep liquid inside our bodies, a necessity for this new, harsh environment. As we move forward on the evolutionary scale once again, we in particular developed a unique advantage: hair. It trapped the warm air around us, heated by our body, in effect creating a cocoon of warmth while protecting us from the harsh radiation of the sun. A byproduct of this adaptation was the moistening of our skin. Skin that had once been dried out by the sun was becoming supple once again, increasing our flexibility and agility, enabling us to grip branches, squeeze through trees, and roll on the ground. A new era of agility was underway. After millions of years, a new adaptation would have to surface. Why? Hunting. We found the hair of animals to be more suitable for warmth in the harsh winters, while less hair in the heat of the summer. Summers so hot that we would need a new way to cool our bodies as we ran. A new way that would become one of the most important adaptations of the skin, enabling us to run long distances while keeping our bodies cool. A feat that had never been possible with hair. As we would track down our prey, they would overheat, only able to cool themselves down by panting, the cooling of blood vessels on the tongue, a function not possible while an animal is running. As we chased and then tracked them down, they would collapse as their brain overheated. Our advantage? Sweat. As sweat is produced, the sun evaporates it off our body, taking with it the heat, cooling our brains and bodies in one of the most efficient processes of any species. Our bodies found the sun could be a very reliable source of vitamin D, a vitamin that strengthens our bones, proving to be more important on land. As the sun penetrates our skin, it's turned into vitamin D through a process of vitamin D synthesis. Our skin is the largest organ in the human body. I'll say that again. Your skin is the largest organ of your body. It acts as a giant solar panel, harvesting ultraviolet light. Now, you may be thinking, what happened to our bodies needing protection from the sun? Isn't that what our scales and then fur did? How is it that we're able to withstand the sun's radiation beating down on our fragile skin day after day? To answer that, we must go back to where our furless ancestors began: Africa. A harsher sun than in most of the world. It's the perfect breeding place for a disease known as melanoma. When the sun's UV rays penetrate our skin cells, they can damage the DNA, causing mutations which can, in turn, lead to cancer. You may be thinking that there should be some type of evolutionary protection against this. You'd be right. In fact, at different points on Earth, there are different levels of sun radiation. This means that we would need different levels of protection based on how close we are to the sun. The farther away from the equator you go, the less protection you need. This, finally, is where melanin comes in. A chemical that has enabled us to shed our fur and survive through the toughest of environments. As the sun passes through our skin, we need it for vitamin D synthesis, but we cannot allow ourselves to develop cancer. What do? We know that humans survive at all costs. This survival gave way to the protective adaptation we know as melanin. As the sun's radiation penetrates the top layer of our skin, the epidermis, it's not able to make it inside the nucleus of the skin cell. An ingenious system. Melanin acts as a physical barrier around the nucleus of the skin cell, absorbing and redirecting harmful radiation away from our delicate DNA. Melanin's color? Brown. Melanin enables us to survive in seemingly inhospitable environments, giving way to one of the most adaptable species on Earth, us. As we broke off into different tribes and cultures, there were different levels of sun. Some places had less sun than Africa. This meant that we needed less melanin in order to absorb the same amount of the sun's UV light. The color of our skin is directly related to where our ancestors adapted and how much sun they were exposed to. As we move forward in humanity, we will understand that this physical difference is but a tiny fraction of our evolutionary history. We will realize that we've been fighting over who has more or less melanin in their skin. A truly crazy idea, one portrayed equally as ridiculous in the works of Dr. Seuss, as he showed those who have stars on their bellies are superior, versus those who don't are not. Those who have not want, and then when all have, those who have want not. A never-ending cycle that shows humans' endless need to feel unique and different. A need that has been exploited over countless centuries. We are humans, and humans are wrought with insecurity. Some cope with this by pushing others below themselves, enabling them to a false sense of superiority. We humans are all infinitely complex, different, and unique. Differences in equality should not be based on the amount of melanin we contain in our skin. It was a story passed down from generation to generation, based on a lack of understanding. Today, we are creating a new story, a story that binds humanity together, embracing our differences, while understanding that we share 99.9% similarities with each other. A story that brings us together as our future takes us to places we'd never dreamed possible. A future of compassion and understanding. It's your turn to spread this understanding. One way is to share this video so people can understand how ridiculous these biases are. Did you know about melanin before? Let me know in the comments. Let's realize that we're one connected global society of humans. Let's come together with love and understanding. Keep our curiosity alive.